Hi, my name is Megan Andrews, and I am currently studying art education and I'm getting my master's in art education. And currently, I am actually a high school art teacher, and I have been teaching for about 9 to 10 years now. I will be entering my 10th year of teaching high school this coming fall. So the reason why I joined this class is because number one, I needed an elective, but this one specifically I wanted to choose was because I tend to teach a lot of art therapy. So I include art therapy within my ninth grade curriculum. I just started doing that this past year, and I've been studying a lot about it and the psychology behind it. And I know play therapy and art therapy technically go hand in hand, they can be a part of each other. So I want to be able to learn more techniques, more of the psychology behind it, maybe more ideas on what I can do as far as how I can utilize it more in the classroom as well, even though it's high school. And I also wanted to join this class because I do have a 1-year-old daughter, and she was born last year in November. And obviously, right now, she is in the stage of where she plays a lot. So I would love to even learn more about that and learn more techniques on even how to help her throughout that process of development. Um, so think back to your childhood. So my favorite way to play when I was young was probably outside. I was always outside. I was always digging in the dirt, climbing trees, just wanting to be with nature and playing with bugs and things like that. Love doing that. As far as games go, I didn't really have any games except for maybe some imagination games that my friends and I would make up on in the moment. I grew up in the 90s, so we were outside a lot. And we would always just ride bikes and maybe like make up imaginary things that were chasing us and ride our bikes or on our rollerblades and pretend like things were in the trees or down by the water where I lived. Definitely using our imagination a lot during that time. As far as actual games, we did play tag a lot. We played capture. We played kickball in the street. Definitely a lot of fun memories with that. Um, Also, don't mind my daughter in the background. My husband is watching right now. Speaking of play, um, so I didn't really play a lot with toys per se, just because I was always outside. And I guess like nature was were my toys and bikes and rollerblades, like I mentioned before. And I also loved art. Anything to do with art. Like my mom would say that one of the things that would keep me occupied was just like wrapping blocks on my porch as a kid. I guess like the craft behind it. I loved crafts. I loved just drawing, painting, even some of the art basics, which took me to being an art teacher today. As far as any rules about how I could play, I don't really specifically remember any rules per se. I know, I wasn't allowed to go too far if I was riding my bike. I was only allowed to stay in the area. Um, like things like that. And sometimes my mom would get worried about me climbing too high because I was definitely a climber. When I was my daughter's age right now, and even when I was 1 years old, I was climbing everything. And lo and behold, my daughter now climbs everything. My mom says it's karma. Um, but yeah, I don't remember too many rules. Um, But looking back, I felt more free. I felt more imaginative when I was in play, especially when I was with friends and they would even engage in the imaginary play as well and just like bouncing ideas back and forth off of each other. And it made it a lot more fun for sure. Um, but as an adult, I look back at it and right now it's just nostalgia. And it's definitely bittersweet. Um, but I view play as not really obviously the same way as I did when I was a kid. Um, but I view it more of an outside perspective, I want to say. I view it as more therapeutic, more imagination as far as watching kids develop their imagination. I find it to be intriguing in a way, just watching them develop that sense of self. Even though, we're technically past that stage, sometimes even when I'm playing with my daughter and I try to do imaginary play and it's hard. It's very, very difficult as an adult to try to force that imaginary play. And I sometimes think back of like, wow, how did it come so easy to us when we were children, just imagining things on the spot and it actually being fun? And sometimes it can be so forceful when you're trying to do it with kids yourself and using your imagination that way. And you're trying to think of ideas, and you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. Hopefully, my kid likes this. I don't know. I'm just kind of making things up on the spot. Um, we definitely think more logical about it, I want to say, rather than just kind of like going with whatever thought comes to mind as if we were kids again. Um, but as far as what represents play to me, um, I would say more physical stuff. I think because I was very physical as a kid, as far as like running around and playing and doing outdoor things, I would say very physical stuff, using your imagination. Art obviously represents play as well. Um, but yeah, and regardless of all of that, I really hope to get a lot out of this class, and I am definitely looking forward to it. So thank you.